Welcome back to Craps Hawaii. I was asked some questions by some of my viewers as to why do I play the way I play now, the videos that I post, the way I teach how you should be playing. They asked if that's the way I used to play from before, and my answer is no. I play differently, and that's what actually changed the way that I play now. So I thought I'd just shoot a video maybe showing you how I used to play back in the day. And anyway, this is some of my shirts that I sell, selling it at my cost for $20. If you want to get one, just shoot me an email and I'll send it out to you. We come in different colors, as you can see. So anyway, just in case somebody wants one, just let me know and we can get you one. Okay, so let me explain a little bit about how I used to play and why I turned around and started playing different strategies and teaching different strategies. So back in the day, I used to play 135 across, 130 across, sometimes 270, sometimes 260 across. Rarely did I play the pass line unless I was shooting, and then I'd play at least $25 double odds in the back. Played the hard ways, nickel a piece. If my bets got higher, then I might press it up to quarters a piece. So let's pick some dice and let's get started. So this is the way I used to play. 12. I was never working on the come out back then. I wasn't really taking down my bets. It was more just press it up, wait till it gets to a certain limit where we can take it back with, taking back good money at least $75 to $100 when we pulled it back. So 8's the point. And basically this would be my layout. 130 if the 6 or the 8 was a point. If it was any other number, it would be 135 across. Then I'd put $5 each on the hard ways. And some people don't like playing the hard ways because they say that, big house advantage or whatever they feel it is. But I feel like even though the way I teach is if you can take money from your wins and place it on the hard ways, it's not a bad bet. A lot of times I made good money out here on the hard ways, and sometimes not even making wins on my place across bets. Okay, so let's just keep looking for some points. 3, 8 winner. Okay, so I don't win anything here. I'm not playing the pass line. I lose the hard 8. Replace the hard 8 and looking for a point. Hard 8, right back on the 8, not working, so I don't collect. We're just looking for some numbers. 8 right back, lost the hard 8, replace the hard 8. And I didn't like playing the pass line way back then because, you know, even money is what you get paid on the pass line. Plus, I already put in out $130, $135, and that would be $130, $140, $150, so it could be $155. Almost $200 a hand it would be if I played the pass line. And rarely did I play it. Sometimes I did, but rarely did I play it. So looking for 0.7. Heart 10. And my buy-in back then was always $1,000. I always bought in at $1,000. And when the dice went bad, 6 people, 7 people, sometimes 5 people, depends how much I'm betting. If I'm betting 270 or 260, playing pass line, playing out here, in 5, 6 people rolls, you could lose $1,000 really quick. And you know how fast that goes, 0.7, 0.7, 0.7, and I'm not collecting because I'm pressing. $1,000 could be gone in a blink. 9. So 9 pays 35. And whereas I would put $35 each on the 5 or 9, now back then I just used to press it $50. And that was the press back then for me. Six. So lose the hot 6, but win 35. And when you win 35, I pressed it up to 60, took the nickel, replaced the hard 6. I always played 8 to 10 to 12 hours a day. That was always my style, so that didn't change from back then to now. So 50 on the 9 pays 70. So I'm going to take 75 for 5. And then I press the 5, the 4, the 9. Seven up, and that's basically what used to happen, because where I teach you now to take back 2, at least a minimum of 2 if you can, 3 if you want to totally break even with what you laid out, so you can stay alive in the game. Okay, back then my style was exactly this: press till I get it up to a point where I gonna take back 75 to 100 something dollars a point. So I think you're beginning to see why I gave up playing the way that I was playing. Yeah, I took like $250 loss, right? I know it's house money, but like I said, there was a win that I could have banked. Instead, I'm just pressing. Okay, it's still looking for another point. 5. So now, since the point is not a 6 or 8, it's a 5. It's going to be 135 across. And the hard ways. Of course, when you're betting this kind of money and you're playing the amount of time that I played during the day, the casinos like that, because you give them a chance to take back their money while you're playing, you know, a lot of hours during the day, and that's what they want, and that's why they give you comps, especially if you're betting big like this, 135, 270. they'll give you comps, right? Free rooms, free meals, free shows, limousines pick you up from the airport. Sometimes they'll pay you a plane fare. So you get caught up in this, you know, comps that they're giving you, and it's nice. You got suites, but in the long run, you're paying for it. But back then, I felt, well, if I want to play this way anyway, whether I get comps or not, I might also get comps. So that's part of why I used to play this way, and of course I wasn't smarter that back then either, though. So hard 8 pays 35, press to 60. Hard 8 gets paid. Hard 8 pays 35. So I'm sorry, pays 45. Press it up to 50, parlay to 50, and hope you can hit that hard 8 again, because that would be good money. 9, so 9 pays 35, and I'm gonna press up to 50. So this is my style back then. Hard 10 pays 50. I'm not going to be paying the commission just because, you know, it take too much time to get dollars and pay $1 for the 50 for every 50 wins. So I'm just going to show you my presses. So I would press the 4 and 10. Pays 35. So press up the hard 10 to 40. So lose the hard 4, place the hard 4. 50 pays 100, and I used to press it up to 100. Take the 50. Eight. So there went our hard 8. This is the hard 8. Put the hard 8 back. We're at 60. 60 pays 70. I'm gonna press the 6 up to 60. Press my 8 up to 90. And this is what it was all about back then. Pressing my bets up, hoping for good numbers. And what happens? Things like this, 7s, right? And sometimes you get lucky and the dice rolls a long time. And you make good money. So you fall into that false fallacy that this is the way to play, and not counting these hard ways, just counting what I got out here. $350 now I left on the table that I could have taken down in the new way that I'm teaching you folks and the way that I play. So for me to have given up the way that I was playing, it was very difficult, because when the wins came, they were big wins, and so you kind of justify your losses against your big wins, and in reality the losses were bigger than the big wins. And it took me a long time to realize that, or maybe I just didn't want to see it that way, because, you know, you were getting the comps, you were getting everything else, very impressive. 5. But it came a time that I made up my mind that I couldn't keep doing this because it wasn't the way to be playing. Just wasn't the way to be playing. So I became smarter, learned more strategies, better theories, and I still had a chance to make big wins by playing 110 inside, 66 inside, 44, whatever it is, because even though I was playing smaller, the hotel or the casino couldn't kill me, couldn't make me walk away unless I wanted to walk away. The other way, like this, I had to walk away because he was losing too much money. You know, there were times I lost $3,000 in an hour. So by taking back, you stay alive in the game, and so the casino would have hard time take all your bankroll, very hard time. And even if the roller would roll for 20 minutes or 40 or maybe even an hour, I had the opportunity to press my bets up. Especially when I would power press my bets up, I would get there a lot faster. That first 3 rolls or 2 rolls that I took to get back my bankroll wouldn't hurt me in my press up. It wouldn't make me like fall behind 3 presses because I took 3 times. Because it's, you look at my videos, you'll see that when I power press, I get up there a lot faster than the regular person who's doing a normal press. And that's all I was doing before, doing normal presses. So that's another thing as to why I can still win big money but don't have to take those big losses. It's all about staying in the game and waiting for that big roll to come. Staying alive. 4. So 4 pays 50. Press 4 and 10. Lost the hard 4. Put that back. Hard 4. So hard 4 pays $35 because it pays 7 to 1. So you press it up to 40, and that gives you an opportunity to win good money. Because if it hits again at 7 times 40, that's $280. So win 100 for the 4. And sometimes I do that. Press both sides. Okay, so just be careful on the way you play. 4, so we lost a hard 4. But the 4 did come back and we had $100, so that pays $200, right? And at $200, you think I take it, but I still used to press. Always taking a chance, you know, always taking a chance. 6 pays 35, and as always press it up to 60, put my hard way back. 11. $9. So always looking for a good hand, you know, a hand that's gonna make you money, and you just get caught up in the game. I mean, it's a great game, don't get me wrong, this is a great game, but to stay alive in this game, you gotta play smart. You gotta be smart. Okay, now we lost this, so you're looking at $400 already. You're looking at 500, 25, 30, 40, $540 that I took nothing from. Okay, And like I said, back in the day, this is the way that I used to play. Exactly the way I used to play. Now, if I hit that 4 or that 10 for $400, naturally I'm going to take that $400 because that's the kind of win I'm looking for. But meanwhile, along the way, I'm losing 130, 135. Yeah, all these was considered house money that I won and pressed it up. But like I keep saying to you now, is that this money does not belong to you until you rack it in your chip reel, right? Back then, I never thought about that. Back then was just, hey, bet it up, bet it up. So sometimes, you know, maybe some of you are playing this way right now, and that's one of my reasons for shooting this video, besides trying to reminisce about how I used to play and why I don't play this way anymore. I mean, what did we go through? Like 3-4 rollers or shooters. Lost a little bit of a count, but you know, I only got 450, maybe almost 470 out of $1,000, and that's what happens. And you're still over here looking for a point where you can collect 100 something dollars. Hopefully it comes, but throughout the day, that's what you're doing. And then because you're not staying alive, when you lose what amount you told yourself you were going to play, and like I said, sometimes in an hour $3,000 gone, and you walk off the table, then when you come back just to check what the table's doing, and about an hour or so later, and you hear the dealer saying, hey, Mel, where you guys were? The table just hit for an hour, 40 minutes after you guys left. Well, that's the problem, right? You shot your load. It was time to move on. And that's what you did. You moved on. So you missed the roll that you were really waiting for. And that's why I said you got to stay alive, stay in the game. Right, so that when that roll does come, you're there, and then you can start pressing it up big time, like I did show you right here. And like I said, it was hard for me to step down and start playing 44 inside and 66 inside, and because when you're betting big like this, like I said, yeah, all of a sudden you're not taking that kind of wins when the dice hit. Instead of taking 35 and pressing it up, and you know, taking hundreds and 50s and 75s, whatever it is, you're taking $14 or $21, and it's hard to break that habit, and you feel like, man, you're really losing money instead of making money. But the one thing that helped me was that I was on a table one night at the Nugget, and there were two people that came next to me on the rail, two guys, and they were bought in for $1,000 a piece, and they were betting the way that I used to bet, like this: 135, 130 across. And it didn't take long that this is what was happening to them, and I only bought in for $500 because I was betting smaller, wasn't betting, you know, the 130s and 135s across like I used to. So I only bought in for $500, and it didn't take long. Each one of those players that was next to me that bought in for $100, I mean $1,000 each, they lost that $1,000, and they were buying in for another $1,000. And I told myself, well, Mel, that was you. That used to be you, buying $1,000, not long, taking another $1,000. That was me. And after they lost the first $1,000, the table wasn't great, But because I was taking back, staying alive, taking back 2-3 times, even if I took back one time, I still didn't have to put out the full amount. When they lost their $1,000, I still had $300 left out of my 500. And then they bought in, like I said, for another 1,000. And then they ended up walking off the table maybe another hour or so later. And I wasn't winning, I was still losing, but I still had $150 left from my 500. And that's when I told myself, Mel, that used to be you, and now look at you, you're still on the table. If you was betting the same way they were, you'd be walking off the table. So I kind of learned my lesson. I kind of had to really buckle down. It took me a few months to get used to betting the style that I'm betting now and showing you how to play. But I'm glad that I did, and that's why I want to share what I've learned with you, my viewers, my subscribers, and hopefully you take to heart what I'm trying to say, because I'm sure there are viewers out there or people out there that still bet this way that I used to bet back in the day, because I see them on the table when I go to Vegas and play, and they're still taking the losses that I used to take. So hopefully maybe some of my viewers that play this way take some of my advice. And I mean, if you can afford to keep playing this way and keep losing and sometimes take big wins, then that's fine. That's your style. I'm not trying to stop you, just trying to give you advice. I mean, there were times that I won some good money, but like I said, most times you end up losing more than what you win. When you bet big, a lot of times you end up losing big. So once in a while I try to shoot and see how I used to play back in the day, and you know, a lot of times when I do this, the same results pop up where you're still losing, like how I have now. Yeah, I mean, the best thing that can happen for me is that the table goes hot while I'm betting. Good, but you see, this is what normally happens. That's exactly what normally happens. I mean, I don't know how long we've been shooting right now. Of course, let me just check how long we've been shooting. I see it's about 28 minutes, but out of that 28 minutes I'm talking and playing, and we're not moving as fast along as how the table would be. So 28 minutes, and what we got left, $160 out of 1,000. So that's what I'm trying to say. We're not even within an hour, I'm down 1,000, right? So you could, you know, there is times that you could lose a lot of money in an hour. So let's try to see our last hurrah, if the table would turn for us in our favor. 7. I was debating whether I should shoot this video or not, or post this video or not, but because it was requested about how, you know, not requested but asked about how I used to play and why I play differently now, I thought, well, instead of just explaining it showing it makes a bigger impact, and that's why I'm doing it. 5. Usually I'm showing you a video about how to play. Now I'm shooting a video telling you how not to play. 5. 75 for 5. Hard 10. So hard 10 gets paid 35. Press to 40. 50 gets paid 100. Pressing out both sides to 100. And right about here, if I would hit the 4 and 10s, you know, I could take 200, and I probably would, especially when you're down this much money. 5. So 5 at 75 pays 105. So I'm gonna take my 75 back, press the 5 up to 100. Seven. So as you can see, when you finally reach the point where you're gonna be collecting blacks, 7s usually pop up. Sometimes you get lucky, like I said, and gives you that false hope that, hey, I'm doing the right thing, because look at me now. You know, I was doubting myself and all those other hands when I pressed it up, and I didn't collect anything. But look what happens when the table turns in my favor. I can make $3,000, $4,000, and that's exactly right. I mean, you can, because it has happened to me when I was down $3,000 and changed to another casino right across the street, went from the Queens to the Fremont, and got on a roll where this guy was already, he had already thrown about 30 rolls, and I jumped on and put 135 across, and he threw another 30 rolls, and I made back $3,000. And my other friend, when I left him at the Queens, he was $3,000 down like me, and he said, nah, he's gonna stay on that table. So I went across to the Fremont. I came back to brag to him, hey, I made my $3,000. You should have came with me. When I looked in front of him, he had $6,000 in black chips. So there was nothing for me to brag about to him, but he told me he just caught one young boy that got on the table and had a hot hand. And it can turn that quickly. So when you're playing this kind of money, you get into that false thought that, yeah, I lost 2,000, I lost 3,000, but because I'm playing this kind of money, I can make back that kind of money pretty fast. And that's true if you catch one hot roll. If you don't, you just go lose. And that's why I said there were times I took big losses. So now I just wanted to show you this for the last thing. I went to a table at the Nugget, and my friend was rolling, and by the time I got there, he had already been rolling for about 10 minutes. I asked his wife how he's doing. She said, oh, he's rolling about 10 minutes. He's rolling some numbers. I said, okay, great. I was already losing. I was on a bad table, so I came to that table. I laid out 135 across, just like this. And I pressed, and I took, and I pressed, and I took back, and kept doing that, and he kept rolling. And so, you don't know how long he's going to be rolling. And I was losing, so I had to keep taking, press it up, take, press it up, take. So when he finally sevened out, this is what my bets had turned into. $135 had turned a quarter, 104 to $2,500. And my quarter on my 5 came $1,500. My 6 and 8, $1,200 a piece. My 10 had $300 because he wasn't really hitting the 10 and his point was 9. $500 each on all the hard ways, because at that point you got so much money out here. If it comes easy, you don't care, but if you hit it hard, and that's good money and taking down what you're going to get from this win up here. So because I was losing when I came on the table and I was losing like $10,000, so I had to take, press, ended up leaving on the table and he sevened out $7,000. I racked up $18,000, but could have been a bigger win. But I just saying this because of that's my experience, that gets you into that false fallacy that, hey, if I bet this way I can win a lot of money. And that's true when the dice hits like that, but it also gave me a $10,000 loss before I got on the table. So anyway, that's the idea about how I used to play and why I gave it up. Because in the long run, you're going to lose more than what you win. And everybody that I spoke to that bet big, because I have a lot of friends that bet big, they always say, oh yeah, I had a big win. I said, yeah, but along with your big wins come big losses, right? And they all go, yep, exactly, you've been there. I said, that's right, I've been there. And that's why I try to be smarter and don't make that mistake anymore. And that's why I practice once in a while to remind myself how I used to play back in the day. So hopefully you enjoyed the video. I'm sorry I didn't teach you something to how to win more. Actually, I showed you something on how not to play instead of how to play, but maybe that also teaches you not to do what I did. Thank you to all my viewers. I really appreciate it. Thank you for your comments. Make sure you subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. That helps me out. And if you need some shirts or any advice or any videos you want me to shoot, and the only thing is I don't pass bets because I don't like to play against the shooter. I will don't come and place bets, but I don't like to bet against the shooter. We're all there to enjoy ourselves. I don't want to be betting against somebody and giving him hard luck like people think. But anyway, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed the story. We'll meet again. Thank you.